Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today, we are unpacking a really comprehensive 10-module roadmap for achieving operational excellence using the principles of Lean Six Sigma. It's an incredibly powerful toolkit, and we're going to break down exactly how it works.
So right off the bat, have you ever been stuck in one of those endless DMV lines? Or maybe you've been held up by a clunky corporate approval process that just, doesn't make any logical sense? I want you to think about the last time you felt totally trapped in a frustratingly slow system. Because today, we're learning the exact toolkit used to permanently fix those universal pain points.
Okay, let's jump straight into this roadmap. We're organizing the source material into 3 distinct phases for you: adopting the lean mindset, applying the 5-step DMAIC engine, and finally, scaling these practices into knowledge work and overall culture.
Starting our journey with Phase 1, the mindset. This focuses heavily on value, waste, and flow, which covers the foundational principles established in the very first module of our material.
You know, it's actually fascinating how beautifully simple the core concept of lean really is. Your primary goal, maximize customer value while rigorously minimizing waste. Every single action, every little step in your process has to add tangible value to the end user. If it doesn't, it's literally just waste.
To pull this off, the source outlines 8 specific types of waste, and there's a super handy acronym for this: downtime. We're talking defects and overproduction to waiting and non-utilized talent. Throw in transportation, inventory, motion, and extra processing, and you've got the ultimate enemies of flow. We really have to train ourselves to spot and eliminate these in our everyday workflows. Whether it's the agony of waiting for a vital email reply or the extra processing of generating reports that absolutely nobody reads, downtime is the exact thing stalling your productivity.
And the cool part is that these principles are truly universal. Over on the business side, you've got the Toyota production system drastically slashing equipment changeover times, which saves precious minutes that compound into massive efficiency gains. Or look at Amazon, keeping their huge fulfillment centers humming seamlessly by using really clear visual cues. Now, look at the government side. The exact same rules apply. They help a DMV streamline complex licensing systems to cut those agonizing wait times, or empower a Veterans Affairs office to systematically chip away at a massive, long-standing claims backlog. The environment changes? Sure, but the lean mindset? Completely identical.
All right, let's shift gears into Phase 2, the DMAIC engine, which is our problem-solving framework. This is where we take all that foundational theory and turn it into a concrete action plan based on Module 3. This brings us to DMAIC. It's a precise, 5-step structured methodology explicitly designed to reduce variation and eliminate defects from absolutely any system. It stands for define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. Let's break down how each of these actually works in practice. Starting with define. This is where you scope out the problems that actually matter by carefully identifying stakeholders and boundaries. You use visual tools like a SIPOC diagram to map out the entire ecosystem: your suppliers, the inputs they provide, the process itself, the outputs generated, and ultimately your customers. Think of a city sanitation department using this map to clarify exactly who their upstream suppliers are and what their downstream residents really need. It sets strict boundaries so your team doesn't get sidetracked.
Next up is measure. This phase is all about building a rock-solid baseline with standardized data. Because, let's face it, you simply cannot improve what you don't accurately measure. For example, a busy court system might ensure they have apples-to-apples data by strictly standardizing timestamps across every single one of their clerks. Establishing perfectly clear operational definitions guarantees that everyone is measuring the exact same thing, in the exact same way. Moving into the analyze phase, your absolute goal is to isolate the real root causes of the problem. Visualizing the data here is a total game changer. Imagine a hospital ER mapping out their delays with a Pareto chart. They might suddenly discover that triage handoffs are the primary driver of their bottlenecks, vastly outweighing lab waits or the discharge process. The whole strategy is to find those vital few causes and just ignore the trivial many. Then you hit the improve phase. This is where you roll up your sleeves and actually design and test real solutions, often called countermeasures. You might deploy 5S for organization, or run a fast-paced Kaizen event to tackle one specific issue head-on. For instance, a public benefits office could implement specific appointment slots to kind of pull work through their system, rather than just letting massive crowds arrive randomly. That one focused change significantly reduces lobby congestion.
Finally, we land on the control phase. The crucial goal here is locking in those hard-won improvements so you don't just slide right back into old, inefficient habits.
You deploy control plans, visual controls, and standard work. It's exactly like a transit agency rigorously tracking daily on-time performance on a dashboard with real owner accountability. You set response thresholds, so if performance ever dips, you instantly know and can course-correct way before it becomes a crisis.
Now, let's see how all this builds into Phase 3, Scaling and Culture. This covers the final modules, showing how isolated pilot projects evolve into a true organization-wide culture, especially in knowledge work. Module 9 actually translates these exact tools straight into the office environment. There's this massive misconception that Lean is only for factories, but that is simply not true. On the business side, a software team limiting their work in progress, or WIP, can drastically cut their cycle times. Or a finance team could close their monthly books way faster through strict standard work. Similarly, over in government, rolling out digital e-filing drastically cuts down on manual data entry rework and completely eliminates those frustrating in-person queues.
The real secret sauce for applying this to office, IT, or HR environments is visualizing invisible work. Think about it. In a factory, you can literally see a physical pile of parts backing up on the floor. It's obvious there's a bottleneck. But in an office, 500 unread emails or a mountain of pending IT tickets are completely invisible. Using tools like Kanban boards brings those hidden tasks into the light, allowing you to set crucial WIP limits, cut down on confusing handoffs, and manage the flow of work just like a physical product moving down an assembly line.
But, tools alone just aren't enough. Module 10 highlights that effectively scaling these practices requires deeply committed leadership. You need Hoshin Kanri, which is strategy deployment, actually aligning everyone's daily work with top-level organizational goals. You need coaching right at the Gemba, the actual place where the work is happening. And psychological safety is the absolute glue here. Teams have to feel 100% comfortable pointing out waste without fear of blame. Plus, process design has to be equitable, and those hard-won benefits should be published openly to keep the momentum going.
To make sure this doesn't just stay a nice theory, the roadmap culminates in a very tangible 90-day deliverable. You carefully define pilot projects, assign hard target metrics like a 20% wait time reduction, designate clear owners, and set a strict review cadence like weekly check-ins. This level of disciplined structure is exactly what turns a good idea into lasting operational excellence.
Inspired by the Sources capstone activity, I want to leave you all with a direct challenge. Look closely at your own daily workflow. What is one simple process filled with that downtime waste we discussed? And how can you start running a mini DMAIC on it tomorrow? Think about it. Because the path to systemic operational excellence, it really starts with just one small, carefully measured improvement.